What's up, guys? This is Heis, and welcome back to Mark's Madness. We're now in episode 3. Is this the last episode? Probably not. It's probably going to be 4 parts. Ellis is pretty concerned. I think he's right that we're going to end up talking a bunch. Like, we know about the trains already. We've done the whole round of 32. We got 16 trains to go. But we had to get cut off several times the last 2 times. So, it's going to be fine. Yeah.
It's probably fine.
We're trying to determine the best choo-choo, and again, we are looking at a couple different criteria, which we don't have rules on this. We don't have a slide for that in this presentation.
Go up one slide.
Go up one slide. There we go. The rules. Here we are. 5 minutes to discuss which choo-choo's better in a fight, which is better for its purpose, which is more cursed, why we would individually pick one, and would Brett fit in the locomotive, which will probably become more and more important of a criteria moving forward this episode. So, we've had a lot of fun, and of course, special shout out and thank you to Admiral Ellis. Please check out his YouTube. Ellis put this together after Leighton came up with the idea. Sometimes putting the work in to make the ADHD become reality is quite a bit, so we very much appreciate you, my friend. Okay.
You're very welcome. I appreciate the folks who helped me gather the stats for these, for the engines that we do have stats for.
True fact.
Anyway, carry on.
All that said, round one. Let's see. Fight! A pointless choo-choo versus a pointless choo-choo. Montezuma versus Salt Lake and Ogden number 21 Morningside. Leighton, was this submitted by Josh, by the way?
It was, in fact, submitted by Josh.
Okay, because I did notice that Josh was like, ooh, they included my Glup show in one of the Discord servers. And that made me laugh my ass off. So, thanks, Josh.
Oh, it's awful.
It is pretty bad.
I'd like to point out, Brett, remember at my bachelor party when we were in Orange Empire, and you said you would like to ride the Bamberger?
Oh yes, I do like the Bamberger.
This is an origin of the Bamberger.
It is a choo-choo of the Bamberger.
Yes. Also, I looked it up. The Sioux City Elevated Railway. Sioux City, South Dakota, had a elevated railway.
Third in the world.
But why?
Third steam-powered elevated railway in the world, which is hilarious and insane. And this thing ended up on it.
That is.
It operated between Iowa and Nebraska. Sorry, Sioux City, Iowa, not Sioux City, South Dakota. Why are there two?
Different still, yes.
Why the
actually.
random Midwest city have an elevated railway?
That's a fantastic question.
Half of Denver used to be elevated. We kind of had an elevated railway with 16th Street Viaduct.
Huh.
I'm going to share a picture of the train in the chat. It looks like some model railroad bullshit.
It's adorable.
Is it adorable?
It's adorable. Is that this engine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's rad. Hey, it's only got one headlight in that picture. Okay.
So, Glup versus the Zoomer. We could really be proactive and just have the quickest round and go Zoomer, end of story.
We could. Which would win in a fight? Probably actually Morningside. Which was better for its purpose? Probably Morningside. Which one's more cursed? Morningside. Why would we pick another one? Well, one's Glup and one's She Was Number 1. And Brett wouldn't fit in either of them. And I do like the slide saying, I don't think Brett fits, but I guess someday we'll find out. To the peak of the roof of the cab is 6'3". Don't make me pull up the picture of Glenbrook. I will do it. Yeah, Montezuma, yeah?
Montezuma. It's gotta be.
Montezuma, duh. I mean, we're sorry, Glup, but
sorry,
hold on.
Oh yeah.
Let me provide the distinct lack of statistical analysis here because, as
That's
mentioned last episode, SLO number 21, there's very little information about it. With what information we do have of the stats that we have available, Montezuma wins 4-2. Out of a total of 40 stats.
Hell yes.
And other locomotives were having like more than 20 points, and Montezuma got 4. I'm thinking of that scene from Pirates. How's it going? So far, we have 4, including those 4. Yeah. Anyway, on to round 2 here. Match 18.
Next.
Oh god,
some of these are going to be almost unfair.
This is pretty unfair. Almost. Sorry, wheel spins, lands on Britain. I mean, we could do another quick round.
I mean, hell, lightning round, win in a fight.
Yes, pure Marquette. Duh. Better for its
Better for
purpose. Come on, it's a swear engine Berkshire. Come on. Yeah.
Probably the Swear Engine Burke.
Which one's more cursed?
The Manor class, though, like, as a small 10-wheeler, go anywhere, do anything engine.
Valid.
Actually, this is kind of valid, because the Berkshires were built to be a go anywhere, do anything engine. The Manors were built to be a go anywhere, do anything engine.
Here you can see the difference between American railroading and British railroading. The tender on our go anywhere, do anywhere, anything locomotive is heavier than the engine and tender of the British equivalent.
That is correct.
It's
That is
fine.
fair.
Is it actually? Oh my god.
Yeah, the tender loaded weight for 1225 is 363,400 pounds.
That's more than
tender weight. The total engine and tender weight of what is this, Cookham Manor? Yeah, of Cookham Manor is 243,936 pounds. So there's over 100,000 pounds of difference between
the tender,
everything, and the tender.
Fine.
The British railroading
Cookham
is
Manor,
about speed,
the track that it's on, and half of the shed behind it.
Basically.
Versus the tender of that one.
Yeah. So, why would you pick either one?
Cursed?
I mean, one's green, cursed. Neither of them is really super cursed.
Not really.
I would say for what both of them are, they are extremely well designed, well built engines.
These are two
both
great
good-looking.
engines, but yeah, I mean, but it's a Van Swearingen Burke. I'm
But
sorry.
that one's greater and westerner.
Moving on.
Who are?
Pure Marquette 1225. Yes.
Yes, 1225, the Van Swearingen.
Unsurprising. It will be surprising if any of the British stuff makes it into the quarterfinals.
I'm supposed to tell you the numbers before you all vote. I
Oh,
know it's
sorry.
not going to change anything.
Well,
but,
tell us the numbers. Let's hear them.
Unsurprisingly, yeah, the Pere Marquette engine wins 26 points to 12, which is a pretty determined route. There are a lot of things this engine has going for it that we sort of touched on before. It's got Baker valve gear. It has a perfect 4.0 factor of adhesion, which is probably, how it makes it across the ice or something. We could BS something about that. Yeah, I mean, those are the two things that really jump out at me. It has more superheating surface than Cookham Manor has combined heating surface. So it's a big chooch. It also has like double the minimum weight of rail of 7808.
That's not surprising.
Didn't surprise that 7808 wins all the weight stats here, but
fine.
Yeah, 26-12, and you all are voting for 1225, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. But what I'm hearing is that a Manor class is better for skating across the ice.
It depends on the thickness of the ice, but yeah.
From a weight perspective.
So we've got the Polar Express and the Polar Express. Yes.
Yes.
The Northern Express.
The Northern Express.
Northern.
Hey, Ringo. Moving on, I guess,
The
to
Midlands Express.
match 19. We have the 605. This is going to be
This is a
painful.
hard one. We're going to upset people with this one, regardless.
No matter what happens, no matter what we do, she will
People are already
sing.
upset.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not
Which wins?
surprised.
Which one's in a fight? Probably the AC9.
I mean, it's got to be the AC9 because I mean it's.
For
Yeah.
strength. I was weighing speed in there as well. It's like,
What to say? It would have to catch the J first.
That is true.
yeah.
Put the J
Still-
vertical, and it would probably still go.
It's still probably the AC9, but they're very different fights.
Right. Yeah. God.
I'm gonna have to be contrarian and go with the 605 here.
I mean,
We're not voting yet.
it's Speedy Boy. It's a Speedy Boy in terms of winning fights.
Oh, you mean in terms of winning fights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay to be
there's something to be said
objectively
for it.
wrong, but I mean, yeah. At the same time, a locomotive is not just tractive effort, and this is something that we tend to try and preach. Like there are, the sum of its parts is a whole thing
There's
too.
a lot to it.
And a J. I mean, come on, the J in terms of design, yeah, super cool. Yeah, but
That's true.
AC9 wins in a fight to me.
So,
Okay.
This is the next
up
one.
is,
Purpose?
Better
Which
for
one
which
is
is better for its purpose.
Yeah.
Arguably the J, I guess.
I'd probably go J on the merits. On the merits that it's probably a better design. It's just more modern, a little bit more refined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the AC9's not modern, which is the funny thing. But I mean, we're still talking what 30s and then 50s or late 40s.
39 versus 43. They're only about.
Really?
They're only a handful of years apart.
Okay.
Yeah, but you've
still,
got
the J's have like roller bearing rods and stuff. The AC9 were built as kind of slobber buckets. They're just big, kind of engines. They're not marbles.
Big, dumb, happy.
Streamlined slobber buckets.
Yes. It's slobber bucket with a perm.
Look at me, I am slobber.
Yes. Slobber.
It slobbers and then uses it as pomade on the Skyline casing. Now that's an image you're stuck with.
This locomotive is Johnny Bravo, and this one's a runway model. There you go.
Yes.
Big, dumb, stupid.
It's
got the hair.
Are you thinking the AC9s are himbos?
Yeah.
AC9 is Krog.
I have never heard that term before.
Really?
No. That's delightful.
It's a great term.
That is a great term. Anyway.
No one knew Stan last time. You don't know himbo this time. This is like a... we're pulling straight out of Urban Dictionary today.
It's fine.
We're
fine.
With it.
It's fine. Which, we've got the
Brett,
whiz.
I got a question
anyway.
for you. I want to test this principle.
Uh-oh.
You're the AC9. You've just been asked to haul a train. What do you say?
Yes.
Don't touch me, I'm pretty.
Yeah. Do the market with me.
I was thinking you would do your Kronk voice, okay?
Oh, yeah. I could totally haul that. Over the mountain, it's gonna be great.
But the AC9 talks to squirrels. Confirmed.
Squeak, squeaker, squeaking.
Yes.
You have anything here that's not swimming in fuel oil?
Yes, the AC9, because it's a coal burner. Yeah.
They're both coal burners.
Oh, it's true. But, yeah, so everything's swimming in...
Screams angrily in Virginia.
Yes. Cool. Which one is more cursed? I have to say, I think the AC9 is more cursed.
The AC9.
Yeah.
It's the AC9.
Yeah, because, I mean...
streamlined J.
Well... Don't say it again, Nate Moreland.
It sure has inspired some cursed memes.
My mother has called me and told me that I need to hit Leighton. She called me and told me that I had to hit him for his comments about the J.
Whoa,
as if we need to be told.
So
Whoa.
Just saying, Brenda took the gloves off. So
whoa,
I get
J class. Nice guy.
Yes. Anyway, yeah, I mean, but this is the 605. It's unstreamlined. This
AC9.
The streamline, yeah, it's the AC9. Why would you pick either one? I mean, this sucks because both of these are like really, really cool, and like this is kind of the pinnacle of locomotive design in many ways. But this is really cool. Yeah, in the U.S. Yeah, somewhere someone's mad about Porta and
David Wardell just exploded somewhere.
Yes.
242A1, we know.
But this is so cool. But I want this. This is Eastern. This is Eastern, and like, yes, it's very cool and neat, but I want this. Yeah, and Brett would fit
this
in both.
This is brilliant.
So
but I like this.
Yes.
It is the meme.
So Ellis, give us the stats, I suppose.
Okay, so I have these backwards on my sheet, flipped the wrong way around, but that's fine. The AC9 wins overall 22-16.
Really?
Which
More than I would have figured.
That doesn't really surprise me. One of the things that kneecaps it is the fact that it's effing gigantic. 605 wins all the weight stats immediately. 605 has a better driver diameter. That's 70 against 63.5. It also has a better boiler pressure, and I'm not sure why this is coming up the wrong way. It's showing...
Aren't the J's 300?
They became 300.
Oh, okay.
The J1s, which is what they were called before they put the streamlining on. These were war babies, so they were 275. They didn't have the lightweight rods. They didn't have the streamlining, as you can see. And yeah, a lot of the early ones were 275, and then they uprated them all later. So... But it's either one. It's still better than 3811, who has 250.
Sorry,
so yeah,
squirrel moment here. Look at where the whistle is on the cab forward. Why is it right there?
On the cab forward or the
on the cab, or not the cab forward, the AC9. The not a cab forward.
The bass backwards.
Yes, the bass backwards indeed. It's right there.
Assuming it's just to get superheated steam.
I suppose, but why would you not? Yeah, to hell with the firemen, I guess. But
well, my spreadsheet is mad.
That's goofy.
Very mad. I just had to refresh the page, and it changed a whole bunch of stuff. The score total is actually 20-18. AC9 still wins, but it's closer. Not. It's actually quite close. Yeah, 605 is a better evaporative heating surface divided by cylinder volume, which is interesting considering just how much larger the AC9 is. It also has more cylinders to go around, so the steam got to go more places.
That does do it.
More cylinder volume.
Yeah, and the AC9 has a slightly larger tender. It has 120 more gallons of water than the J.
So what? It's a quarter inch taller.
When you're talking about fractional Montezumas, you're really getting into the weeds.
Yeah, and 2 more tons of coal. But yeah, that's our stats. Nothing else really jumps out at me here. I mean, they both have absurd heating surface amounts.
Modern steam, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing.
Ladies and gents, I think it's time for us to vote, and I'm very conflicted on this.
Tough.
I think I'll cast the first shot for the AC9.
Okay.
Cool.
Leighton?
I'm gonna go with the J.
And now
make Mark's life hard.
all of the East Coast is collectively pointing a handgun at my head right now, and I guess I'll call their bluff. I think the 605 is a better locomotive, but I want the AC9. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm voting for the AC9.
You did the meme. You did the meme.
I did the meme. Yeah, this is great. This is brilliant. But I prefer this.
But I like this.
Yes, yeah.
I will say, with respect to the AC9 and its place in loco games, which this is not quite, but it's close enough. When we do the Royales, which is 5 locomotives, the AC9 has won a round of that, and then a round of the collection of that. So, it's beaten a
24 other locomotives,
and then it won the round beyond that. So it's beaten out, a combined total of something like 125 engines.
The AC9s are just freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
They're neat.
Choice.
They're neat.
Yep.
I don't know what the question is, but that's not the worst answer.
No, that's very true. Moving on to match 20. Here we have. Oh boy, sorry again, Bretton. We've got the Hogwarts, the legally distinct Wizard Express versus CB&Q 3007, the big CB&Q Hudson, and something Death to Santa Fe, as we said earlier.
Yeah, the wheels spun and it landed on the Santa Fe.
Yeah, so both 6 drivers, but something tells me that this one is definitely taking this one's lunch money. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm sorry. Winning in
it's house.
You gotta remember, everyone, that when you're talking about American steam versus British steam and talking about winning in a fight, not in a race, British steam is quite elegant and fast, and that's the purpose, right? 491, our little podunk narrow gauge slobber bucket that is truly a slobber bucket and not even streamlined, would beat almost every matchup with everything the British have ever built, bar 10 classes maybe. The P2s, the big Garretts, it's got more tractive effort than almost everything else.
The domestic Garretts.
Yes, the domestic Garretts. Yeah. Obviously, the big one that I'm apparently not going to get to see when I go to Australia, single tier, because it's under maintenance. But still British built.
That's a lot of maintenance.
Yeah, that's a lot of engine. Anyway,
91 will be able to slog it out with the best of them at a speed of about 12.
Yeah, she's happy at about 15. Yeah. Versus the British, which are happy at about 80.
50.
Yeah. So, which is a better engine for its purpose? I'm kind of inclined to say that the British engine might have the slight edge in this category. Perhaps. I mean, the Q Hudsons were awesome, but
they were built. We're both talking about things that were built as passenger engines and things that this is actually a pretty good pairing.
Right.
This is like the Manors and the Vansbergen Berks of these were both designed to haul big F-off passenger trains. 3007, those Hudsons hauled 12-car heavyweight trains to Denver. So can you imagine going up and over the hills on the plains, like one of those doing 80 versus, okay, you've got a haul class here. You're hauling like 16 coaches and also doing 80.
Right. much lighter coaches, though.
I'm inclined to say the hauls, if for no reason other than the cop-out answer of it's still doing its intended purpose.
That's
all
true.
These years later, as well as a bunch of other hauls, whereas the Q engine hasn't run in preservation, nor have any of its sisters, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Well, also, given that this is legally non-distinct Wizard Express, this is a magical one.
It's true.
That only
It's a
operates
magic
twice.
train.
It only operates twice a year and does it so flawlessly every time.
Was that one built by Baldwin too?
You know what kind of train this is? Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is more cursed? I mean, neither of these are terribly cursed.
It's got to be the hall still.
It's-
Insert Harry Potter joke here. We
yeah.
did the bit last time.
Oh, it's true. Yes, literally cursed.
Literally cursed.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Why would you pick either one? We showed our fondness for CB&Q Steam, which is not something that I think any of the three of us really knew about each other until this run here. Other than, of course, we like 5629 our big chooch. But
Well, I make that bet. The Q had nice.
The Q had some really cool stuff. I like their freight stuff more, but
yeah,
it's all cool.
yeah. I mean, come on, centered headlight, the big visor, and then the Mars light on top, and then the front ding ding, the Alesco. Like, it's just a good look.
It's a look.
Yeah,
Brett would
right
fit
now
in
I'm
either of these
looking
two. So
At my CNS 210-2 Challenger Imports, uber expensive brass, and I'm just thinking, man, that thing's, it's so ugly, but I love it so much.
yeah,
The fact that one of those was not saved is
criminal. Hey, we have the
it's
drawings
so
though.
sad.
Anyway, Ellis, give us the stats.
Stats come out to be heavily in favor of not Aeolus over here. 3,007
I'm shocked.
gets 24 points against 15. It wins all the power computations. It wins almost all the heating ability stuff. It just so happens that 4079 has more tubes because more of the boiler space is taken up by tubes instead of superheater flues.
Right.
Such is life. 4079 also has a better factor of adhesion, but it's 4.22 versus 4.36, so it's not that much
You're
better.
above 4, so
4079?
5972.
5972. Oh shoot! I dropped the wrong thing in.
Your sheet is being spread.
I have these on a drop down. Okay, I'll be honest, that really doesn't change anything.
Get it,
25.
ladies and
And again,
gentlemen.
everyone's shocked.
Copy,
They came out of
paste.
the photocopier.
Yeah.
Everything I said still applies, except the Olton Hull's factor of adhesion is even worse at 4.64.
Ooh.
Yeah, kind of rough. Similar driver diameter, 72 for Hogwarts Express versus 78 for the other one.
Kind of surprised those are not
And-
80 inches on that. But
Yeah, I know, they're a little bit smaller than you might expect.
still
then-
vaguely Brett-sized wheels, though.
Big wheels.
Yeah.
Big bird.
It's also
Big wheels
7
keep on
years,
turning.
Big.
7 years younger than the cute thing.
The
37
Hall's
versus
newer?
30. Yeah.
Which
Huh.
is bizarre to think about, considering it looks like the hall was designed
In
when
1890.
Victoria was still reigning.
Yeah. Well, British steam.
Bits of it might have been.
Yeah.
Photocopiers. We've made the joke.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, well, I think that
And then-
brings us to the vote at this point. Wheel spins, lands on Britain, 3007. I'm sorry.
It's my turn to be contrarian. I'm going to vote for the hall.
Ooh, now
Really?
we're gonna make Leighton choose. Why do you pick the Hall?
Yeah, unpack that. Convince me of why this this standard boiler monstrosity is superior.
I don't know. As we've talked about, it's difficult to quantify what is a superior engine purely based on power and capability. A lot of the stats skew towards the bigger engine because bigger boiler, you can have more heating surface for the amount of cylinder that you basically need as a baseline. That doesn't change near as much. I like that the hulls are still working. I like that they're generally pretty well renowned. They're known the world over, and they are, by most accounts, really good engines. The Hudsons we don't really know that about, so, I don't know.
Fair enough. Leighton Moreland, it's up to you
Well-
to either break hearts or make farts. Shrug.
Hey man, I can do both. I'm a multi-talented man.
Good to know.
But by virtue of the fact that these have, and we just confirmed that the halls have inside wall shirts, right?
I thought
Or do these
not-
have separate?
Yeah, no,
I think
they
these
do
are
have inside wall shirts. Yeah.
Ew. And we were wrong. Noted. Commenters have been pointing out several times that the inside wall shirts on the 4-cylinder engine is nowhere near as bad as we thought, because it's only 2 eccentrics, and then they have valve extensions out the front for the inner cylinders. But yeah,
I'm seeing Stevenson.
Are they?
sure.
The
37?
Castles have 4-cylinder wall shirts. It should be pointed out that the GWR 2-cylinder locos all used Stevenson's gear. It was only the 4-cylinder types which used wall shirts, according to some man in Wigan.
That sounds
All right,
vaguely British.
Well, our friend in Wigan has saved the hull, because if it had inside wall shirts, I was gonna say the Q engine. But I'm gonna agree with Brett's argument here of they're still running, there's multiple of them running around, and they are very, very good at their jobs.
They're cool.
Britain, congratulations on having something that has made it to the
You've made it.
quarterfinals.
You've made it.
Oh
Also-
god.
And no further.
I would like to point out just one other thing. When I went to Britain for the first time in 2014, I got to see Olton Hall. It was in timeout at the National Railway Museum in York because it just lit a field on fire.
Put a Ridgeway on it, right? That's the
So
answer
they're
for that,
just like
right?
gargoyles.
Ridgeway with British loading gauge.
It's a very very squat Ridgeway.
Yeah. I don't know. Now that we've said that, the Photoshop and the internet will make it appear, and we might get something mailed to us that's unpleasant. So,
Don't encourage it. Don't encourage
What
it.
else is new? Okay,
Next.
well, Olton Hall moves on. So, match 21. Oh, man. Okay, so Brick House meet Brick House. Virginian 802, the 210-10-2, with arguably God's most pointless trailing truck versus the 9000, which would win in a fight. I mean, it's got to be the
Probably the
Virginian,
802?
right? It's probably the
Yeah.
Virginian, especially in simple mode. If it was in compound mode, it might actually be kind of shrug, but yeah. But if it could do 8 in simple, that's enough. Which was better engine for its purpose? Probably both, really. I mean, they made 88 of the 9000s.
The 9s were certainly more ubiquitous.
Yeah, so maybe in that case you could argue
but
for
also,
that. But
like, the 9s were built as a, more widespread system locomotives, or at least
As
meant to
widespread
operate
as it can be with 14 coupled drivers.
12.
When you're
yeah.
that,
12, sorry. Not the Russian thing.
Привет.
The 210-10-2, that was built for a specific it was built for a specific hill, right?
The hill.
Yeah,
The
always.
hill, comma, the. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So it was built to be brick house, moving things up and down one hill with, I'm just noticing now the sand dome arrangement on
I was
that.
just thinking about it.
So here's-
I was trying to think of cursed things, and yeah, the sand dome.
Sand domes are cursed.
Yeah, it makes it cursed, but
So here's an interesting flip-flop on the built-for-purpose argument. Which one was better at not fulfilling its designed purpose? That would be the 9. The 210-10-2, they're both very good at what they were designed to do. The 210-10-2 is really only good at that. The 9 is very good at what it was designed to do, but it also found a lot
more.
of life with
yeah.
other things later on.
Yeah. And to anyone saying that, oh yeah, the 9s couldn't run really anywhere else, that we must remind everyone that 9000 itself ran its own butt to where it is parked.
Yep.
She ran to LA, did the thing.
She came down to Denver on the Dent branch, which was not anything amazing.
Right. So,
Yeah.
God,
It's
be so cool to see one
in
of
the
those
spirit
run.
of this past weekend, give me a long enough lever, I'll move the world. Give me a big enough 210-10-2, and I will pull the biggest tree stump ever.
Yeah, so
No
definitely
more.
winning its fight. I guess we could argue that specific for purpose design, the 210-10-2 would be better. Which is more cursed? You know, I really wonder between the Sand Dome and God's Most Pointless Trailing Truck and the Itty Bitty Tender versus the 3-cylinder with the crank and the thing, and it's not exactly
Bald-faced.
120. And Bald-faced makes it extra bad, but this is 9,000 that is on here, and it is one engine. So I would argue definitely Bald-faced is definitely more cursed, but otherwise they're
I'll
both
say the Virginian's more cursed.
decently cursed.
It also suffers from locomotive tender.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Locomotive Tender! Yeah.
We call that Grand Syndrome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it's
didn't want to build more expensive turntables, okay?
Yeah.
Neither did they.
Apparently. Why would you pick either one? I mean, 9,000 because buggada 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 buggada. Come on. Who doesn't want to listen to that? Versus this, 4 cylinders, but only, you know, like the 2 chuffs, like a lame choo-choo. No, it wouldn't. When it was in compound mode, it wouldn't. Compounds only get the 1 set of chuffs, and
Right.
it's only based
I
on
was
the
doing
front
it in
engine.
simple.
Yeah, and simple.
I was
yes.
doing simple mode at 8 mile an hour.
Ba-dum, 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 which, I mean, that's a great sound too. But I would tend to lean towards the 9,000 for picking. And would Brett fit? Yes, very much so. Ellis, give us the stats.
Okay, so statistically, there are a couple of interesting things here I want to point out before we get all the way to the bottom. They're both Alco Schenectady products, which is
Oh.
interesting enough.
When were they built?
So the 802 was built in 1918, and as mentioned last time, it basically never changed after that. They didn't do any like major rebuild programs
Never
or anything,
changed.
which, you know, it's a big chooch. It did big chooch things. That's all it needed it to do.
The 9,000s were 1923. Is my brain remembering right?
I think 20. What I have down is 26, but you know,
Probably, yeah.
nothing's perfect. And then overall, the 9,000 does take it 22 to 15.
Interesting.
Wow.
One of the things here is
Handily.
it wins all the power comp stats because it has a little bit more boiler pressure. It's 220 versus 215 for the Virginian engine.
Okay.
But it's got
and
way
it
lower
has-
cylinder volume.
A larger, it has a larger firebox area.
Huh.
Strangely enough,
That is kind of surprising.
probably
Well, I guess
because
I guess you think it's
800
speed, right? Like the 9,000s were designed to go relatively quick with what they were pulling versus this, teens versus 40s, 50s.
The firebox area, if you notice on the 802, it's a very shallow firebox because it's over the back 3 sets of drivers, as you pointed out last time.
Right.
They also have almost identical grate areas. It's
Interesting.
108.8 square feet for the Virginian engine and 108.25 square feet for the UP engine.
God almighty, that is twice the size of 491's box for those playing at home. Like, literally.
9,000 also, despite being completely outclassed in heating surface, it nabs firebox area out from under 802. It also nabs flues, because it has smaller flues, so you can pack them in tighter, and superheating surface. It has more superheating surface than the Virginian engine.
Interesting.
More fluid.
What, do these have, like, Type E, or, like, the smaller superheaters? Are the flues 3-inch, or 3.5?
Double back ones.
Oh, yeah.
9,000 has the 3.5 inch.
Okay, the more modern, like a Vansvar engine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are neat.
Not like our thing.
No, not like our thing. Where you have one down back in
two
one tube,
pipes per flue,
and then you go
versus
down to
4
the next
pipes per
flue. Yeah.
Yep.
Here's another little interesting tidbit before we move on. Factor of adhesion. 802, 4.56, and that's in compound mode. In simple
Okay,
mode, I'm sure
yeah.
that would be a dismal number.
Yes.
UP 9000, 3.66.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's got passenger engine numbers.
Lippy.
Which with that many drivers, that's kind of hilarious that the adhesion is that bad. But I mean, 3 cylinders, and it's not a British proper fast 3 cylinders. It is American. Look at the size of my cylinders. Yeah.
They're not small. Anyway.
Okay. Well, it's
votes?
on to the vote.
It's got to be the 9s for me.
It's got to be. It's,
9,000.
yeah. Virginian.
Okay.
This
They're
is
cool.
this is brilliant. But I like this. Remember we said about facts and no opinions and everything in the first episode? Yeah,
I think you could argue the 9 is a better locomotive.
I think you could in this case, definitely, because I mean, I don't know how many of these they made, but 88.
They made 10.
When the challengers and articulateds and things in the early days were not doing well, UP returned to the formula and made this brick house and
insert the last of the giants spiel here.
Literally, yeah.
Like a centipede with a stiff neck.
Have you guys seen the HO models that have an articulated frame for the 9000?
Yes, yeah.
So they actually turn.
Yeah. I really want one, but I want one of the ones that is not cursed. The one where the branch pipes split, I think that's the MTH one. The BLI one doesn't. Those are extra cursed with a side of cursed sauce.
Yeah.
So anyway, match 22. Oh boy.
Okay.
Which one's more cursed? Yes. We have Union Pacific 21, the allegedly Vauquelin compound Atlantic thing, versus our favorite sandwich, Reuben Wells. Oh boy, which would win in a fight? I would have to say it's probably actually Reuben, because this thing is never going to get started because it's an Atlantic, right?
Oh, it's going to get started. It's just going to be spinning and not going anywhere.
Yes.
Yes, that.
Hanna-Barbera sound here.
Literally.
Mr. Krabs walk.
Which one was a better engine for its purpose?
Probably Reuben.
This is again that kind of use case of it was really good at its one purpose, whereas this one was probably better overall. But yeah, so probably Reuben.
But also, how long was Reuben in service?
That I don't know.
Reuben.
That's a good question.
Reuben, I could also see having use outside of the incline it worked on. Like, it could work on a branch line or something somewhere pretty happily. It could have gone to a lumber company or something. There's not a lot you can do with an Atlantic except pull medium to small passenger trains
really
very
fast
quickly.
Yeah. And like Reuben could be just shoving over a hump yard all day long.
Yeah, or it could switch. It could be a fine switcher.
I know Reuben, der humping. Yes.
Ooh.
So, little history on the Reuben Wells, built in 1868.
God, it's that old.
16 is my limit on switching Reuben.
And it worked in the configuration you see it in for a few decades.
Longer than 21 did.
Yeah, probably. Was retired in 1898. So, 30 years. 30 years of service.
That's like
it's solid.
That's a
it's
decent
great,
usage.
But it's solid.
It's not great. It's not anything to write home about. But like that's for something this weird is pretty impressive.
I mean, our girl only got 35 years.
Oh God, she did, didn't she? Never done that math.
63.
It's always like, oh yeah, 1963. It ran late. It ran a long time. But yeah, 28.
You know, realistically, like, how much industrial equipment lasts beyond 30 years? A lot does, but a lot doesn't.
Right.
All of Amtrak does.
It's fine.
Bud don't break.
It's fine.
Becomes progressively more Swiss cheesy.
Last time, I was recently at Union Station staring at a P-42, and I'm pretty sure I could see the engineer's boots through the wall. So, it's fine.
Also, hey, Rocky Mountaineer coming into Union Station. That's hot.
Talk dirty to me.
Right,
why would you pick either one? UP21? I mean, because Reuben's got that, you know.
Reuben gives off like the kind of gross kid that has the trading cards at the edge of the cafeteria.
Hey!
I know that because I was that kid, but like
I was gonna say
the 21 is beautiful.
Reuben. I was gonna say Reuben's the three-legged dog, but Reuben's more like the five-legged dog, and you're just confused. Yeah. Reuben is the six-fingered man from Princess Bride. Anyway.
Oh.
If Reuben was a dog, he would be a boxer. Kind of ugly, mostly drool, but you gotta love him.
Yeah, the 21's just
the
like...
The 21 is a greyhound, but it's one of the Italian, like, little miniature greyhounds.
Yeah,
that just kind of shakes.
Oliver.
Mostly anxiety.
Yeah, mostly.
Was Oliver an Italian greyhound?
He was half Italian greyhound.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oliver.
See the
that guy.
sketch we talked about earlier. Anyway.
For Mark and Leighton, picture Teeny, and that was Ellis's dog, Oliver.
Okay, would Brett fit in this locomotive? I think yes. Maybe not in Reuben. Maybe.
I could lay down in Reuben.
Yeah, that's true. You'd
Lay
fit
down
inside
on the
the water tank.
What do the stats look like?
Overall, UP21, the Atlantic, is the overall winner, 23-13.
Not surprising.
Yeah, it's not surprising considering the fact that Reuben was donated to Purdue University before UP21 was built. The donation happened in 1905. 21 was built in 1906.
It's always impressive when you hear about stuff like going to a park or a museum. Like, you think of that as like an end of steam 50s, 60s thing. But when you think of stuff like the T12 or the Reuben or whatever, it's like, oh yeah, it was donated in the 30s or the aughts in this case.
The thing on the right was a museum piece when the thing on the left was futuristic.
Literally.
Not just modern, but the future.
And when it was the future, it was still a Vauquelin compound.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the slotted rod.
Oh god.
I wish I could.
Which one is more cursed? Yeah. Yeah.
Which one is more cursed?
We didn't
21's
really
on
touch
Reuben,
that.
Sorry.
The pontoons on Reuben go a long way to make it cursed.
I think you mean fantastic.
The drivers that straddle the firebox, because how do you deal with the firebox in 1860? Have you seen the little crosshead pump situation that's got its own little eccentric running off the rear wheel?
Off the back.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know that, but it's adorable. I love it.
It's adorable. Yeah, but like, this engine doesn't look cursed, and then you learn about it and you go, ugh. Whereas this one is obviously cursed from the get-go. So I don't know, it's a pretty even matchup.
If we had to walk up to either engine, they're both seen next to each other.
No.
Reuben Wells is going to feel a lot more familiar.
Brett,
alarmingly true.
Brett,
What?
do you see this?
I can't see anything. Hang on, let me zoom in here.
It is a hydrostatically lubricated Vauquelin compound Atlantic. Those lube lines right there.
Well, we've always asked this. What locomotive needs a 9-glass hydrostatic? This locomotive needs the 9-glass hydrostatic.
Yes.
That's a salient point.
Mechanically, looking wise, this doesn't look cursed. Mechanically, this is extremely cursed, whereas this is just kind of... this is strange looking, but mechanically rather normal, actually, somehow.
Yeah, the most exotic thing is probably the little crosshead pump on the rear axle.
Yeah, maybe the crazy firebox boiler. I mean, that's like a crazy
air tanks that straddle either side, but really that's just the way you've arranged things. It's mechanically, like you say,
right.
Very plain.
I
have
a question for the two of yous.
Uh-oh.
Or for the three of yous, rather. Boiler pressure on the Vauquelin, 200 pounds. On Reuben Wells, 130. Which one has more tractive effort?
Probably Reuben Wells, because the drivers are itty-bitty.
By about 3,000 pounds. It's 22K versus 25K.
That's hilarious. Yep. I mean, it's an Atlantic. The drivers are the size of the ocean.
Yeah.
You know?
81 inches.
81s, wow. 6'9". Nice. Anyway, I guess it's time to vote, and I really don't... Just the mechanical cursedness, I think I have to vote Reuben, because thinking about this, the more I look at this locomotive, the more irrationally angry I get.
I love a Vauquelin compound. I think they're ridiculous, but they're just so cool.
Yes.
And of all the ways to do a Vauquelin, honestly, that's one of the better, like... That's not a bad way to do it, if you're gonna do a Vauquelin. So I think I'm gonna go with the 21. I also just love Atlantics. They're so cool.
They're cool.
I'm
gonna
go with the Reuben Wells, because you're a pervert, Brett.
You heard it here
also,
first, ladies and gents.
I do take umbrage with the trading card comment, considering.
Moving on to match 23. Match 23. Oh boy. We've got Central Pacific's Black Fox, the 440 with too much tender that it borrowed, with the crazy thing that only broke, several times, versus the William Penn, which I learned more and more about because Daniel Gallery started Daniel Gallery posting which we love. We love when this happens.
Does he have stats?
I don't think he had
information.
stats, but he had a lot more info about it, which was very fascinating.
Context.
Yes, which it's kind of amazing. But yes, who would win in a fight? I don't know, the 440 or the 420. Black Fox.
The one that's divided by 2.
Yes. Which is a better engine for its purpose? The Black Fox?
Probably Black Fox.
Which one is more cursed? The number J. It's the number J. Why would you pick either one? Maybe this one if I want to do a sick wheelie. But otherwise, this
Can I ollie my steam engine?
I don't remember that stat from Railroad Tycoon. Sick wheelie. Does that help your passenger appeal?
It might come into the station just, woo!
You don't even need switches. You just put tracks kind of double, dead ending into each other, and then you just kick flip it when you get there.
Exactly. Yeah. And you've got the perfect platform to ride from on the giant sand bell box thing.
Bell box.
The sand bell box. The steam locomotive.
Kickflip the steam locomotive. It's fine. You're going downhill. You see the water leave the sight glass. Sorry, this thing probably doesn't have a sight glass. You see the water, hear the water leave the bottom tricock, and you get all of the passengers to come ride in the cab, and you just lift the lead truck off, and you don't blow up. There you go.
It's fine. It's great.
Developable logic.
Literally. So yeah, more cursed. Yeah. Why would you pick either one? Gee, do you want a really pretty, nice, neat, kind of niche American, or do you want this?
This
thing. But the thing.
#J.
It scares me. Would Brett fit in this locomotive? The jury's probably out. You probably don't fit in either of these.
Probably not. I am putting on enough weight these days, though, that I don't like my odds with kick flipping the steam engine, so we'll give that to Black Fox.
Okay, I guess Ellis, if I recall, there's not many stats, but...
No. I mean, no.
I seem to think that it'd be rather one-sided anyway.
You might expect, I mean, the J wins all of the weight stats, surprising no one. Based on the Central Pacific order forms, however, there are more of the William Penns built than the Black Foxes. 6 versus 5.
Okay, I was gonna say,
right.
But that's like a 440. They must have made 1 million of them. No, okay,
Yeah.
6 and 5.
Well, I will say, they did certainly make 1 million of them, but we try to be really specific on what counts as the same.
Right.
Built Black Fox.
And there were 5 locomotives in a line in the order form that all had the sort of same naming scheme as Black Fox. I can't remember what it was, but it was like color animal, So we sort of assumed that those all went together and they were completely different from the ones above and below. 149, of course, wins all the... Well, we don't have power stats for the J, but whatever. You could assume it's going to win all the power stats.
Do you see the size of the slide valve? The slide valve is the size of a Kleenex box.
The Penn is driving a unicycle with a soup can.
Yes.
And meanwhile...
It is actually a 10 by 20 cylinder on the Norris, and then a pair of 10 by 20s, and a pair of 16 by 24s on the American, which comes out to 10,000 pounds of tractive effort versus 2,000 from the Norris.
16 by 24 is no slouch. That's almost 91 sized.
And also the factor of adhesion on the Norris. Any guesses?
On the Norris?
On the Norris.
Over 5.
Over 9,000.
Yes.
It's over 5.
It's 6.87.
It's almost 7.
Why do you have the sand?
Why is it always 7?
Why sand? Why sand at that point? If you need sand, you were running the locomotive through an oil slick.
Anyway, 7 is also the flue tube length of the Norris. Just thought you should know.
The sand is so that you can catch the slip and do the show car dog bounce.
Yeah, perfect.
Literally.
Yeah, so anyway, 149 wins 11 based on the stats that we have.
Yep.
No.
Anyway, I guess it's time to vote. I'm gonna vote the Black Fox, because how the hell did the J make it out of round 1? How did you guys vote for that over the Sterling single?
Because it's just, I love Norris. They're cool. They're neat.
Cool. They're neat. Okay, and our last match for this episode, because, unsurprisingly, we managed to talk for almost an hour again. Match number 24. We've got the Susquehanna 142 versus the Midland Terminal number 64. We've got a Chinese SY and a USATC S155 that, is Schrodinger's 260.
We're gonna start fights.
This is a toughie. This one sucks right here. Who would win in a fight? I'm pretty sure the 142. Maybe. Shrug.
I'm gonna go Midland Terminal. Like that's
so?
a mining engine. Like, this is what we have here. We've got Midland Terminal is a dwarf, and Susquehanna 142 is an elf. We've got a dwarf fighting an elf.
Call me elf one more time.
Yeah, well, you're an angry elf.
You were the last person here that's gonna get called an elf.
Well, okay. Ellis, do you have by the stats who wins?
If you want that now, I can give that to you
now.
We
gotta run through the rest.
Okay, fine. We'll get there.
Fight,
I'm gonna say Midland.
It's a wash. Probably.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Midland. I mean, it's small drivers and most of the weight on the drivers, depending Schrodinger's, which was better for its purpose. Arguably, the 142, absolutely, because it didn't need the addition of a lead truck. Which one is more cursed?
The Midland
engine, because the flying double cross compounds on a 260/060. Why would you pick either one? Midland neat.
Yep.
But also SY neat. That's tough. And would Brett fit in this locomotive? Probably yes. Okay, Ellis. There we go. There's the lightning round. Stats.
15-14 in favor of the Midland.
Interesting.
And the stats that we're missing would also probably favor the Midland even more.
Huh.
Like I mentioned, we don't know how much of the weight is left on the drivers after they stuck a pony truck on it. So, who's to say what the minimum weight of rail is? But I would imagine, considering the Midland engine is like 20 tons lighter than the Mikado, it's probably less.
It is also missing 2 axles, though.
Yeah, I mean, even with that, the Midland engine also has more tractive effort.
So it would win the fight, most likely. Yeah.
Not a lot, but enough.
It's so easy to lose the context of how small the SYs really are, because they look very quintessentially American in their proportions, and then you put them next to American equipment, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. You stand next to them, they're really not that big.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a mic, but it's a small mic.
I never understood how much there is variance in standard gauge equipment size until I went to Age of Steam, because, you stand next to a locomotive in a park, or you stand next to a locomotive at a tourist road or whatever, and you're like, oh, his train is big. But when you see, like, 4 280s in the same roundhouse, and one of them is this big, and one of them is like Goliath, it's like...
One of them says USATC, I was built for the British, and then the other is Lake Superior and Ishpeming, screw your iron ore, I'm going to move everything!
Literally, yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to tow the moon!
Yes, we need more cheese, Gromit. Anyway. So, do we go to the vote, then?
I suppose if that's all you need to hear about these 2 locomotives.
Midland.
Gosh, this is a hard one.
Hardcore Midland for me. No question.
This is a hard one. The SYs are cool. The Midland's cool.
I gotta go the Midland engines.
Oh, my vote doesn't matter then. And we'll do a Colorado clean sweep just to give Casey hi, friend. When you pit up your choo-choo... Well, adjacent to your choo-choo versus,
Someday, we may have the chance to run an SY or do something with an SY. But in our hearts, we all really want a chance to do something with that thing that
stupid 260, leaving out of Colorado Springs, going through Manitou, going up the 4%, and going through... If you look at the Midland Terminal, some of the alignment on it and why they added the lead truck, you will understand. Talk about a spaghetti railroad. Ugh. Well, with that, I believe this slide intentionally left blank. Yes, we did it. We have got our round of 16 is done. We now have 8 choo-choos left.
Quarterfinal?
Quarterfinal, followed by semifinal, followed by final, which will all be in the next episode, because, yeah, we've managed to talk for almost an hour once again, because, spoilers, we like trains. That's what happens.
You can put the graphic up on the
graphic.
Screen.
Boom.
I will say, just to recap, as I did the last 2 episodes, winners of this round that are moving on: Montezuma, 12-25. The AC9, 38-11.
Oh no.
Olton Hall, the UP 9000, Reuben Wells, the Black Fox CP 149, and the Midland Terminal number 64.
We put Montezuma and Vanswerg and Burke in the same.
Montezuma is about to get squished. Montezuma is about to Montezuma is going to die a violent death next episode, I think. Either that, or you'll learn just how unhinged stupid we are. One of the two. Anyways, as always, thanks so much for watching. Ellis, again, make sure you check out his channel, Admiral Ellis. He does all manner of fun things. If you've got a pitch you'd like to give, have the floor.
We've also got, I was going to say, we've also got theironhorseman.com, which might still be on your screen if you're still looking at that bracket image, which is where you can buy our steam locomotive trading cards. We have a couple of batches out. Well, we have 4 batches total that are out. 2 of them have been sold out for a long time. The third one is about to sell out, and I need to check how much I have left of that.
Get them while you can.
Number 4 is called Into the Woods, which is all about logging locomotives, and we've got plenty of that. And then cards are going to come from this. Whether they'll be sold here, there, or wherever is yet to be determined, but I will also be working on another batch fairly soon. So, if you like trading cards, I mean, Brett's going to make fun of you, but you can buy them from me.
Brett did say he was that kid. He did say he was that kid. And with that, ladies and gents, next time we see which engine tops it all off by running the finals all in one go. So join us next time. Hopefully it's before April. Shrug. It's fine. It's fine. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye!